What's up everyone, it's Ojh and we are back at it again, and in this video we are going to look at the Warcraft Rumble summer content roadmap that covers all of the information that you need, starting with patch notes that are going live today, covering Season 6, sieges, raids and parts of Season 7, Cenarion family, Moonglade. So there is genuine content right around the corner. In this video, we're going to do it in chronological order. We're going to start from today. We're going to look at the patch notes. There are some really interesting and important things to know in the patch notes. Changes to dungeons, balance changes, some bug fixes. Don't skip ahead. I know that we all want to get to raids, but there's some good stuff which is coming into the game today. Then we're going to look at sieges. What even are sieges? Nobody heard anything about sieges. Us in the creator program didn't know anything about sieges. This has come right out of nowhere. It's another cooperative game mode. We're going to cover that in more detail shortly. Then raids. It seemed like raids were never going to appear. They were announced at BlizzCon 2023, and then global launch of the game happened. There's been no mention of raids pretty much at all, but the details that you need and when raids are coming and what that looks like, level requirements, all that jazz will be in this video, the details for you. And then finally, there's going to be the details around the Cenarion family, which are coming into the game, and Moonglade. Finally, there is so much genuine new content coming to the game. Stick around till the end. There is so much to get through. I'm going to try and make this video as short as possible, but there's genuinely loads and loads to cover. Right, let's start at the start then. So patch notes for the 15th of May. Okay, so first things first, the guild size is going to increase from its current 15 up to 20. Now, what that means for Dark Moon Fair tickets and all those other sort of things, those details are in the works at the moment, but the guild crease is increasing. Now, one of the big things that's coming in this is the dungeon level cap is changing from 30, which is at the moment, down to 23. Now, again, the reasons behind that, we're not sure at the moment. I don't know if dungeons are supposed to now be a bit more of a farmable source of content, so that you're not going to be kind of getting stuck up in the late 20s or at 30, but there is going to be that cap coming down to 30, and there's also going to be a change to the arc energy, which is offered. There'll be an increase to that, so it'll be 1200 arc energy and 100 coins per leader for beating a level 23 dungeon each week, which should make it a lot more farmable for people with decks of average 22, 23 and above. But anyway, that's going to be a huge change to dungeons, so we'll see exactly how that plays out. Next up, there is balance changes. So changes to the leaders then. We've got Baron First, Chill of the Grave talent will now spawn skeleton mages at the Tower of Meeting Stone every 25 seconds rather than every 20. So a slight nerf for the Baron, but the big change across the leaders is going to be for Sylvanas. So Sylvanas' leader ability, the Windrunner Warchief, now applies to all Horde and Undead allies. It used to previously only affect Horde and Undead that were nearby. The Windrunner Warchief gives a 30% movement speed buff, and that is always on. That's not just when Sylvanas is in play. That is the same as things like Cairn, who gives Horde minis an extra 20% health, I think it is. But what that looks like for Sylvanas, I don't know. That may well bring Sylvanas to be a bit more of a key player. One of the concerns, though, is that because this talent is active all the time, is that you still don't need to play Sylvanas to get the benefit from it. So will that make her appear in PvP anymore? I don't know, but a pretty big change coming to Sylvanas. The troop balance changes then. So a change to Deep Breath, a nerf to Deep Breath is now going to cost 5 gold rather than 4. There'll be plenty of people that are happy about that. Is that enough of a change to the spell to make it, you know, a little bit more balanced? Do they need to go further? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. The Molten Giant's health has been increased fairly massively. If my maths is right, it's about 20%. So Molten Giant's now got 3,500 HP. That is at level 1. Obviously, that scales up. So the Molten Giant is going to be an absolute beast, and that might make that mini a bit more viable. And then nerfs to two of the standard PvP minis. So the Quillbore is getting a 11% health nerf, roughly 11% health nerf, going down to 700, down from 780. And Ojh&x are getting a nerf to their flame burst time. It used to do 110 damage per egg bursting, and now it does 50 per burst. What that means is that Ojh&x now will not kill Pyromancer, they will not kill Necromancers, Flame Wakers, Firehammers. They pretty much won't kill anything anymore. So that is going to be a sizable nerf to the Ojh&x. Finally, for the 15th of May, then there's a number of bug fixes. I'm not going to run through all of these. You can just have a look. There's some general improvements in there and some other interactions that weren't working as advertised. I'll leave that for you to pause it and have a read through it. We're going to get on to some of the main content in this video, which is sieges coming on the 29th of May with the start of Season 6. You'll be thinking, what on earth are sieges? That is what the rest of us were thinking. We've heard absolutely nothing about it. Essentially, sieges are like a mini raid or like a dungeon plus or something. Not sure exactly where they fit in for that at the moment. There are 90 sigils required. There are 3 bosses. You've got the recommended levels which are in there, which is going to be roughly the boss level. Your mini, the army level that you take in there will be scaled down to a maximum of +2. So that's going to still make this challenging content. Again, this is a cooperative thing. So you will play this with one of your guildmates. God, I'm struggling here. This is there's plenty of content to get through, and you'll see at the bottom a number of rewards there. Now you will see some rewards again, like Valor. What you're talking about in a wild card slot. I'm going to come on to what these different rewards mean, because there are some different rewards when we get to the raids section. But essentially, it's the siege. This first one is laying siege to Stormwind. Start Season 6 on the 29th of May. This will be available. It will last for 1 week. There are 3 bosses within it. I've got the pictures for you there. So we've got General Marcus, Innkeeper Allison, and High Lord Bolvar. So yeah, this is the first bit of genuine new content that we've had for a while. Sieges look like they're going to be really, really good, really, really fun, and that first introduction to the cooperative style of gameplay. 1 week after the sieges have come to the game on June the 5th, it will be time for the raids. Finally, Molten Core is going to be here. Grab yourself a guildmate, dive into the Molten Core, go up against all 7 bosses that are in there. Ragnaros, the main man at the end. Again, 90 sigils required to get involved in this. You've got the recommended levels of the wings there. So that's pretty much the boss level that you can expect to go up against. And again, this is meant to be like extremely kind of challenging content, will require a large amount of cooperation and skill and coordination and all that sort of stuff. So again, with the rewards, things in there like Valor, boost slots, all that sort of stuff. But if you do beat all 7 of the bosses within the Molten Core raid, then you do unlock Ragnaros as a leader of the Blackrock family, and we'll cover his stats in a moment. All of the rewards can be earned once per rotation. We'll come on to the rotation in a minute, but the raid will last for 1 week, and you can earn those rewards once in that week. Now, I've got some notes on the rotation, because you can actually complete the raid more than once. In fact, let me just read this to make sure I get this exactly right for you. So, you'll only get the rewards once per rotation. However, you can clear each boss 3 times per rotation. In that case, so you can help out some of your guild members, although you only earn the rewards on your first clear. The other guildmate will earn the rewards on their first clear, even if it's not your first clear. Once you have completed the raid 3 times, if you are going to complete it on a 4th time with a guildmate, then I think it looks like that they don't get any rewards. So that's, I think, to stop you having one player basically carrying everybody else through the raid. So it looks like even though an individual will be able to complete this in full with multiple partners, is that from an individual's 4th run onwards, is that there will be no rewards offered to the person who's going through it for the first time. That's my understanding of it. Anyway, there is more details to come around the raids, so there might be a bit more clarification on that as we go. So as it says there, raids will be extremely difficult content. You're going to pair up with someone, and I think this will be trial and error when we start looking at boss mechanics, etc. And I'm sure there'll be loads of content coming out to try and work out the best strategy for it. Now, on the leader lockout, this is quite an interesting mechanic. So if you defeat a boss with a leader, that leader is then locked out of being used for any of the remaining 6 leaders within the raid, or within any of the 6 bosses within the raid. So you can't just choose your favourite leader. You can't just have General Drakisath and just pick, you know, a solid army with him and go through all 7 of the bosses. If you use General Drakisath on the first boss, he is then out the game, and you're going to have to come up with a strategy using another boss. So quite an interesting mechanic there. And also, you cannot reset your raid progress mid-week. Once you've used a leader, once you have killed a particular boss and that leader are locked out for the rest of that week. And also, you are not locked into a particular raid partner either within your guild, so you have got a chance to play with multiple people on a single week of the rotation. Now, the bosses in this, as we've said, are going to be pretty difficult, so it's been noted that it will not be possible for you to solo any of the bosses. You are going to have to go in there with someone that you trust, get a friend, get someone who's leveled up or whatever it might be, but you're going to have to go in there as a pair to get these bosses down. And with the rotation is that we've got the Siege that's coming out on the 29th of May. The week after that, on the 5th of June, we've got the Molten Core Raid that comes out. And then we're going to have a week off, or possibly 2 weeks off. I'm not sure about that second week. But then the rotation is going to be Siege week, week off, Raid week, week off, Siege week, week off, and so on and so forth. So there will be a Siege or a Raid happening every other week with a week off in between. Okay then, so the new rewards. So the wildcard slots, if you cast your mind back, that was from defeating the 3rd boss in the Alliance Siege. It's going to affect slot 3, so the top right slot deck of a selected leader's army allows any mini plays there to activate the trait bonus for additional levels. Valor, 200 Valor is required to upgrade a slot to Diamond. The Diamond slot is the one up from the Gold slot, so where the Gold currently gives that particular slot +3, the Diamond slot is going to give +4, and that's going to give you the ability to have minis, max level minis, will be level 11 in PvP. So Valor, again, if you cast your mind back, is that you get 200 Valor for beating the first boss in the Siege, and then you get 100 Valor for each boss the first time you kill them in the raid, and you just need 200 Valor to be able to give yourself one of these diamond slots. And the graphic on the right there, at the bottom of the picture, is what it looks like when you select which slot you want to put the diamond slot into, and then the Darkspear Troll there is in one of those diamond slots. And again, a little bit on that, so in order to make it so that Valor is available to everybody, also there is an element of Valor which is available to everybody, whether you're able to complete the entire raid or not. Let me just read this note. So it says, the first wing of Molten Core and the first boss of Sieges both award Valor by design, so that even if players can't progress all the way through the content, they can at least earn valuable account and army progress just for participating in the early stages. So you don't need to be looking at this and thinking, Ragnaros is like level 29, my army's never going to get there and all of the rewards are at the end of the raid. No, there's something for everybody in this, so any progress that you can make in the sieges, in the raids, will help you progress your account. Let's look at Ragnaros then. So Ragnaros is going to be the newest Blackrock leader. Like I say, is going to be defeating the level 29 raid boss. How easy or difficult that's going to be, I'd say it was going to be on the more difficult side of things, although I have no experience of playing it, but we will see. So Blackrock family, 5 gold, 2,000 health, that's at level 1, so he's going to be a pretty tanky beast. Traits then, tank AoE, elemental, and then I think as well, because he the expectation is that Ragnaros doesn't attack air, so I think there should be the Bombard trait in there as well. But 2 new traits then, so we've got Braze attached to the nearest allied tower or base shielding it, which I think is a little bit like the Roost talent on the Drake, who will perch on top of a tower and have some additional defensive capability there, I think. And then Blast Wave, so while in play, you get the Blast Wave spell, which burns and knockbacks enemies near buildings. So the point of this is that you can only have 1 Ragnaros in the arena at any given time, and when you would usually have cycled round to another Ragnaros, it will now be replaced by the Blast Wave talent until Ragnaros dies, and then you'll be able to get yourself another one out there. His attack then is Wrath, which is an AoE swing that deals damage to nearby enemies, that's got an extended melee range. So he's going to be a big frontal AoE swing. He's going to be a bit like Fire Elemental in its sort of manner, although does have a taunt within that as well. And then the passive ability is that armoured allies deal a small amount of damage back to their attackers. The talents for Ragnaros then, 3, obviously, Sun or Flame, 50% health, summons a fire elemental that lasts for 15 seconds, Radiant Flames, buildings you control periodically damage nearby enemies, or Concussive Blast, so Blast Wave leaves enemies stunned for 2 seconds. I always like to try and make a bit of a prediction about which one I think will be the best, in every single time I am miles wrong. But I'm going to do it again anyway. I think Sun Flame is going to be the one to go for here, because Fire Elemental is an absolute unit all by itself, and having Ragnaros and a Fire Elemental, even if it's only for 15 seconds, that is my choice. Let me know in the comments, or give me a load of abuse when I've got it wrong yet again. So that's all with Season 6 coming on the 29th of May, but that is not all for Season 6, because we've also got the 2 new emotes there. So we've got the Orc, which will come out of your war chest, and then we've got the Ape and the Gun, which is going to come at 12,000 honour on the PvP track. There's also a new spell coming, which is the Earth and Moon, which has got a really, really interesting a hybrid interaction, which we'll come to. A couple of changes to the shop, and then I will give you an update on the dungeon and PvP rotations. No change there, just for your planning in the future. So, Earth and Moon spell details. It's a Cenarion spell. It is 2 different spells in one spell. You've got the Starfall spell, which is 6 gold, and then you've got Entangling Roots, which is 3 gold. So AoE, Elemental, Poisonous, and it changes its form whenever a Cenarion mini is played. Now, I don't know if firstly that it needs to be in your 4 available minis for it to change. I don't know if you play multiple Cenarion minis, if it keeps changing between Starfall and Entangling Roots. I don't know if it changes when it's like in the back of your rotation every time you play a Cenarion mini, but we will see. I'm sure there'll be more information that comes out about that, and if I do hear anything, I'll be sure to let you know. But that is going to be interesting, because we've got nothing like that in the game at the moment. So that is looking pretty spicy. And as it says at the bottom, it's a hybrid spell. So every time you play it, you get the other version anyway. So you play Starfall, the next time it comes around, it's going to be the Entangling Roots. And then the next time you play it, it'll be back to Starfall, obviously. But then you've got this kind of Cenarion mini being played in between, which can kind of change that rotation for you a little bit more. With this spell, as always, you've got the 3 talents in there. So you've got Moon Fury, so Starfall lasts for 25% longer. Nature's Grace, Entangling Roots also grants resist to allies for 10 seconds. Or Balance, so it can be cast a second time. And the difference between, the reason there's an asterisk there is to remind me that unlike Arcane Blast, where you tap Arcane Blast and it blasts, and then if you select another mini, Arcane Blast disappears from your hand and goes back into your rotation. That is not how this Earth and Moon spell is going to work. If you've got Balance, then you can play Starfall, you can play another mini, and then you'll be able to play Entangling Roots, and it will remain in your hand if you've got the Balance talent for you to cast it a second time. So again, another really, really interesting interaction. What I don't know is if you play Starfall and then play a Cenarion mini, Does it then mean you're back to Starfall again? I think so. I've asked the question, and we'll wait to hear. And if I do find out, then I'll let you know. But again, this spell is like nothing we've got in the game at the moment. So this could be pretty interesting. Some changes to the shop that are coming. I'm not going to go through this in its entirety, but the team are hoping to keep improving the shop or make it more personally relevant for you. So there's a couple of new zone offers that are coming. There are a few of the more frequent, I suppose, or the more regular bundles that have been retired. They may well be introduced again in the future, but that's just a heads up for you that if one of your favourite bundles, you stop seeing it in the shop, it may well be because it's been retired. And then the Season 6 Dungeon and PvP rotations, like I said, there's no change to any of this. This is the standard rotation of the towers, the enchants, the modifiers, the dungeons and the families and all the rest of it. But I just wanted to put this up here so you can refer back to it if you get lost in what's coming next in the dungeons or whatever. So like I say, no change in any of this. This is just for information. But that is not all of the content that we've got, because I did say something about Cenarion, family and Moonglade. And that is this section that we've got here. So it's only a sneak peek at the moment. It is the Season 7 content that will be coming in July. The Cenarion family is going to become like an official family in the game. 2 new leaders coming to the game, 3 new troops, and you'll also be able to explore Moonglade and gain the rewards from that. And one of the questions will be, well, if the Cenarion family are in the game, do we now need to complete all of the previous heroic campaign with the Cenarion leaders? And the answer is, I don't know. So when I find out the answer to that, I will let you know, because that could also be kind of a free tome from all of those kind of lower level heroics that you've already completed. But Season 7, that is the sneak peek. That's all we've been given at the moment, coming in July. So the big stuff in this one, though, is that coming today is going to be the patch notes. So in that, you've got the dungeon change from the level cap down from 30 down to 23. And you've got the balance changes to some of the leaders and the troops, most notably probably Sylvanas, and the nerf to Deep Breath, Quillbore and Wellpegs. Then we've got the Season 6 content starting on the 29th of May, which was Sieges, which has come from out of nowhere. Then we've got raids coming on the 5th of June, and then for July in Season 7 we've got the Cenarion family. So let me know down below, what are you most excited about? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.